Caitlin Clark has just entered the Indiana Fever's court and inside. She only participated in a few training sessions, something that caused her coach, Stephanie. We were all aware that White was utterly stunned. We knew Clark was unique. She was a skill that comes only once in a generation, but what? White just disclosed that it's not. One spotted a small detail approaching. Because of her schooling, Clark is different from nearly all other players White has ever played. Coached a number of the largest WNBA legends. What did Clark do? Do it comparing her to the White finest ever. And why does this alter anything for the WNBA indoors due to Caitlin Clark is here to do more than just play. She's here to assume control, but prior to diving into please take a moment to like this fantastic item. Watch this video and follow the channel. By being a member of our team, you'll always be in keeping up with the most recent WNBA news, expert analysis, and interpretations of major moves. Enjoy this. Don't pass up what we have. Every angle is covered, so strike that. Click subscribe and let's get started. Let's now discuss why this is such a major issue. Caitlin Clark has hardly entered the court to represent Indiana. She's already drawing attention despite having a Fever head coach in a manner nobody anticipated. As someone who has witnessed one of the WNBA's best talents was astonished after only a few meetings with Clark.
So Stephanie White is obviously now the coach of the Indiana Fever, and that is a good thing.
Clark was already known to be a generational. We were already aware of her talent. She was the face of basketball for women before even participating in one WNBA game, but wearing white simply made a change-revealing revelation. Everything on Clark's potential impact. One little information about her in this league. Training caught White entirely off the ground. Protect the thing that keeps Clark apart from practically all of the other players she's ever served as a coach, and when a coach collaborated with Tama Catchings and other legends. Makes such a comparison, you know. Let's face it, it's a huge deal. Stephanie White has witnessed a great deal of this. Isn't a coach who just dismisses praise to garner media attention. She's been about coach legends and is aware of how brilliance appears, so when she claims that Clark's work ethic makes her think of it's time for everyone to honor the Hall of Famer. Pay attention to what makes this. What's even more bizarre is that Clark is simply, to begin with, we're not discussing a player who has reached her peak. Still learning, still developing, and still pushing oneself above the boundaries of what people always anticipate from AR. She enters the court where she's enhancing and honing her skills and altering things so that she is even more hazardous. And this is the worst part. It's not just the coaching that Clark is impressing. Her co-workers are paying attention, staff. Additionally, when a newbie steps into the gym with the enthusiasm, self-assurance, and a seasoned veteran's work ethic, makes everyone in her vicinity level up. That's how cultural changes occur. The franchise begins to change.
This is big in my opinion. It's big for Caitlin Clark, it's big for women's basketball.
So, what is it about exactly? Clark, you're making such an enormous impact. Let's explore it in detail. Some of the people that Stephanie White has mentored include the game's top players, and she's not the kind to spread unwarranted praise. So, when she mentions Caitlin Clark's diligence, makes her think of Tama Catchings, yet simply hype, which is historic for people who unaware that Tama Catchings plays in the WNBA. Hall of Famer, legend, and generally regarded as one of the most diligent athletes to ever take the court. The Clark, a rookie, is already being contrasted with Catchings regarding the level of dedication and work is ridiculous. White said that she had only ever worked with Clark only a few times thus far, but already she's noticing something unusual, the sort of motivation that distinguishes good legends. Clark players aren't simply attending practice and completing the movements she's fixated on obtaining. She would be better off studying the game like a veteran. She poses pertinent queries and she pushes herself outside her comfort zone. As anticipated, this is the wild portion. White Clark, you haven't even properly coached her yet, is only beginning, and she's blowing people away already. And it's obvious that this goes beyond shooting. Clark is known for producing spectacular passes and threes. Enamored with the game in every way. You name it. Defense, footwork, playmaking, etc. Because she's working on it, she's distinct. She's not merely rehearsing to keep up the skills she's learning to. Dominance is an entirely different thing. Attitude that she's continuously improving. Shot mechanics that guarantee she's greater accuracy and speed of release under pressure and the capacity to demolish shots coming from any part of the court where she's concentrating on strengthening her defense consciousness, predicting plays before they occur, and ensuring she can protect several roles. In effect, it's this overall strategy that's placing her on an alternate level. Although it continues, Clark has an extremely high basketball IQ. She's not just playing the game charts. She is examining each play and every move, any situation that takes place on the court. She studies movies religiously, identifying the tendencies of the opponent, how to take advantage of flaws and make modifications on the fly. At this degree of paying close attention to details is something you typically observe seasoned pros rather than rookies. Let's also discuss her conditioning. Clark isn't merely honing her abilities. She's making sure her body can tolerate the demanding nature of a WNBA season. She's getting more resilient, strengthening her and honing her agility.
Clark is back in the lab, or should I say, her natural habitat. The Fever shared footage of Clark getting a workout in with new head coach Stephanie White.
This type of planning isn't. It's about staying, not simply about being good. Fantastic for years to come, surpassing her own personal development. Clark's work ethic is. Her teammates can see how contagious she is. She is exerting effort and it pushes to equal her ferocity. When a rookie enters and outperforms veterans, causes a sudden ripple effect. Everybody on the team is training harder to compete to a greater level, raising their game, and possibly the most remarkable. Clark embraces the grind in part, but some players may view additional work as a hardship. She is aware that she thrives on it. Being great requires more than simply talent. Regarding the innumerable hours spent behind the scenes,
she moves different. She sees the floor different. She shoots different. There's just a level of excitement.
She is demanding rather than merely striving for success. It comes from her daily. So what? What does this all imply for Clark's future? If she's displaying this degree of hunger, dedication, and discipline as a novice, just think of where she will be in a. We're discussing a player from a few years ago who doesn't want to make a difference. She wants to reinterpret what's WNBA possible, but Clark's attitude not only makes her an excellent golfer, but makes her the type of boss that motivates everyone in its vicinity. However, there is still more. One of the largest. The stories about Caitlin Clark are that she might be too well known to be. Some critics of coaching have proposed that because her name is already so well known, she might not be able to play women's basketball, receiving guidance from instructors who not made as much progress as she has. However, that couldn't be more distant from the. Stephanie White made it apparent that Clark desires coaching. She's not merely. She is receptive to criticism and is requesting it. Desires to be prodded. She desires to be challenged and aspires to be the best. Before you play the game, consider how uncommon that a player is already shattering records, one of the basketball's top names, but still eager for progress.
See, she worked up a sweat. Stephanie White looks focused. Some instructions. This is like tight handle work to keep her handle strong, keep the ball protected, be able to navigate in smaller spaces.
She might simply coast on her skill and innate shooting ability, but she's asking for more instead. She aspires to be more than merely exceptional. desires to become famous, and you know what? This implies that she will only receive. It would be better if she was already elite. Think about what she'll become in a few years. For every other WNBA team, that is frightening. Clark isn't merely taking notes from. She is eagerly looking for her coaches, methods to get better at viewing. She spent hours honing her footwork on game tape, or putting up endless effort to increase her endurance. She's displaying an unmatched degree of dedication that she wishes to dismantle each and every element of her game and perhaps reconstruct it. She is the kind of player who is stronger, will address a minor imperfection to the point where it's no longer an inadequacy in her capacity to accept criticism, and use it right away distinguishes her from a number of young sportsmen, oppose tutoring or find it difficult to adapt their game, but she doesn't get Clark. That everyone can do better, even the best, and she's accepting every obstacle. Continue, and let's not overlook this mindset. Is infectious when your boss is. It advocates for continuous improvement. The team to put in more effort. That's precisely what's taking place in Indiana. The Clark's drive is being watched by Fever players and understanding that they must improve their own games in order to stay up to date. This is the type of mindset that transforms a group from the fact that the reality is middling to championship level. That Clark is adopting this way of thinking so early in her profession demonstrates how she is unique. And in relation to leadership, let's discuss Clark's is taking action that even veterans find your work difficult. It must indicate that you're truly. I think you're enjoying the video, so why not take just a moment to press the follow button. It's very easy, completely free, and beneficial. Us continue to bring you more amazing content, particularly for WNBA fans. Whether the players' game highlights, or moments behind the scenes. Additionally, we've got you covered by following. You won't be left behind when it comes to your preferred players and teams. Continue. Now that we have tapped that follow, let's switch gears and have a conversation now. Caitlin Clark's leadership hasn't even participated in one WNBA game, yet she's assuming a leadership role inside Fever training camp is more than just uncommon. It is practically unheard of for a novice to obtain this degree of deference from her coaches and teammates prior to even playing her first game as a professional. Most rookies bring a certain perspective to the league of demonstrating on their own that they concentrate on adjusting to the tempo of adapting the game to the body, and establishing their position on the team. Leadership that typically takes years to develop. Subsequently, following the establishment of themselves as celebrities, but Clark is. Stephanie has been in charge since day one. White has collaborated with several young players previously, but she's observing. There's something unique about Clark, the way she presents herself as she engages with teammates in the manner that she demands excellence from all those involved in the gym.
It also looks like Caitlin is bulked up a little bit, like she's put on a little muscle mass to be ready for next season, which is an MVP season loaded.
It is establishing the mood for the complete Fever roster, including the veterans on. The group is acknowledging Clark's influence, and it sums up everything. Given her mindset, Clark isn't scared to. She's not waiting for you to speak out. Permission to take the lead. She isn't getting smaller into the background in the hopes of gradually. She's currently taking it to gain respect. Her practice and enthusiasm are infectious, and her teammates are already responding to it. Put up more effort. She is motivating her teammates in each drill, establishing the benchmark for attention and vigor. When she notices when a colleague is having trouble, she is there to help them up with words of support or some brief guidance. It's this type of mindset that creates effective teams become outstanding ones, but it goes beyond. Her deeds speak louder than her words. Clark is setting an example that demonstrates how difficult work is expected. It is not optional. If she's the first one to reach exercise or the final person to go from her, devotion is evident. Yet she's not merely performing the routine, she's establishing the benchmark, and this is an even more remarkable fact is that she's not simply taking the lead on and off the court. She's spending time getting to know her colleagues, fostering chemistry and trust that will result in achievement across games that raise awareness levels. And what distinguishes good from bad is maturity. What's more, players from the great ones. Clark's leadership is impressive, is spontaneous and not coerced. She possesses an presence that is indisputable and demands respect and care, regardless of whether she's assisting a colleague in a drill or honoring a significant achievement. Her impact is felt all over as the Fever gets ready for the next season. It's evident that Clark is more than just a celebrity. She's here to completely change the culture of the group that she led in conjunction with. Her skill and diligence are setting for a unique event.
Think about the great point guards and post players that our game, not just our league, but our game has seen. They are going to go as the greatest.
What does all of this mean, then? Mean for the remaining WNBA players if Caitlin already Clark is startling her coach, and what does training camp mean for the remainder of the league? It indicates that Clark is in serious trouble, and not just. She's bringing a level of talent, intensity of preparation, and leadership. She won't be able to stop herself because of that. She's only playing basketball in a ball game. Every time she steps, she makes a statement. The manner in which she approaches the court. The game is unique and is establishing a new norm that the league as a whole better prepare for.
Caitlin Clark's going to be the MVP of the WNBA next year. I almost have no doubt. What we saw from her as a rookie, the fact that she's going to get better.
She's going into the WNBA during a period in which women's basketball is receiving greater attention than before. Prior to more fans, more media attention, and more pressure, but if that pressure is going to make her reconsider. Clark thrives in stressful situations and doesn't only enjoy the special times she longs for. She was created for attention, and from the manner in which she is training and embracing every moment of it. Each and every game every move in the plays will be attentively observed. Examined each shot in detail, and you know what? She enjoys it just that way. She is aware that the standards are sky high, and rather of retreating, she's bending closer. She is putting in more effort than ever to make. She certainly doesn't just meet those expectations, but breaks them. Unwavering determination is already having impact, influence, and it won't be long until every WNBA club begins to sense it. She is not merely entering as another gifted rookie who is emerging into a player with the ability to change the balance of authority inside the league.
I'm excited about the opportunity to work with them. I'm excited about the opportunity that we have to build from those starting points and build out, and for the longevity.
Her capacity for dominance, her shooting and passing during the game. And she is a perfect leader because of her package that the league's other teams must. Caitlin Clark isn't here, so wake up. She's coming to take control and blend in. Nothing can be done to stop it. People, Caitlin, and that's all. Not only is Clark creating waves, but she's historic if this is only the start. By imagining what she will do when she really steps onto the WNBA stage. Already, Stephanie White is amazed by her. Co-workers are taking over, and the whole league, they had best pay. If you liked this breakdown, pay attention, and wish to keep up with everything, make sure you crush that WNBA. Click the subscribe box to ensure you never don't miss anything. We have the most recent updates, in-depth analyses, and the greatest stories about basketball that are headed your way. And hey, what do you suppose Caitlin Clark will do? Fulfill the expectations and dominate the WNBA? Please share your opinions in the comments. Let's start the discussion below. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you for observing, and we'll see you at the following one.